It's everywhere, damn it. Fucking chasing it all day. 50 loads of laundry drying towels all day long. Can't stand that. Hate it. Get all the carpet up and get everything off the floor. Keys looking really rough. That's Joseph.
Last month, the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, YVO, released its 2023 annual report with new insights into lava flow eruptions within the Yellowstone caldera. Results from dating lava flow eruptions between 160,000 and 70,000 years ago suggest that multiple lava flows may have occurred at the same time, challenging previous beliefs that lava flow activity was spread out over time. According to YVO, the notion of a dense cluster of lava flow eruptions is changing the way geologists think about lava flow events and volcanic hazards in Yellowstone National Park, YNP. In an article written last year by Mark Stelton, a research geologist at the United States Geological Survey, USGS, Stelton explained that the Yellowstone caldera formed about 631,000 years ago as a result of a giant eruption of rhyolite magma, or lava, that deposited ash across the U.S. This is one of 3 eruptions from the caldera over the past 2.1 billion years. The reason visitors to YNP don't see a clear crater in the Yellowstone caldera is because of 28 smaller intracaldera rhyolite eruptions, meaning lava flows or lava domes from vents within the caldera structure. According to Stelton, the most recent phase of intracaldera rhyolite eruptions occurred 160,000 to 70,000 years ago. These 22 rhyolite eruptions are known as the Central Plateau member rhyolites and are visible in YNP as plateaus often covered in lodgepole pines, as pictured above. New research published by YVO scientists in the Bulletin of Volcanology aims to determine more precisely the timing of Central Plateau member lava eruptions, whether they occur in short-duration clusters or at irregular intervals, or both. The goal of the study is to better understand the frequency of rhyolite eruptions at Yellowstone and the volcanic hazards in the park. The study confirms that the 22 Central Plateau member eruptions occurred during 5 short episodes, in which 2 to 9 lava flows erupted from the volcanic vents a few miles apart. YVO researchers estimate that each episode can last up to 400 years, but they could also be much shorter in duration. First, intracaldera eruptions are more dramatic events than previously thought, Stelton wrote. Rather than isolated events in which a single lava flow erupts, intracaldera eruptions appear to involve multiple eruptions occurring in different parts of the caldera at the same time.
From RV, I should have Verizon Home Wi-Fi, so we get internet in every room of the dream house.
My blender! A second implication is that if the Central Plateau member rhyolite is represented by these 5 volcanic events, rather than 22, then the long-term eruption rate at YNP is much lower than currently thought. Eruptions may be less frequent, but they will be more dramatic when they do occur. If Yellowstone erupts again, it may not be as catastrophic, but could be similar to the last lava flow 70,000 years ago. As a reminder, YVO says that Yellowstone is not overdue for an eruption. Most super eruption events in a system are a one-off event, and while a second major eruption at YNP is possible, YVO says scientists are not convinced it will ever happen. There is currently only 5 to 15% molten lava in the magma chamber beneath Yellowstone, which YVO says may not even be enough magma to trigger an eruption. The rest is lava that, while still hot, has solidified. To some extent, forecasting volcanic eruptions relies on knowing how often a particular volcano has erupted. As an analogy, let's say you live next to a baseball field, and you want to know when a baseball is going to be hit in your yard. One way to predict this is to calculate the average recurrence rate by dividing the number of baseballs in your yard by the length of the observation period, say, 1 year, to get the number of baseballs in your yard per year. This average recurrence rate can then be converted into the probability of a baseball being hit in your yard in the next day, week, or month. forecasting volcanic eruptions requires knowing how many eruptions have occurred over time. Geologists accomplish this by combining geologic mapping with geochronology to determine the history of volcanic eruptions. Knowing the average rate of volcanic eruptions is only the beginning. Geologists also need to understand whether volcanic eruptions are one-off events that occur in isolation from other eruptions, or whether they occur in clusters as part of a larger volcanic event.
My drill sergeant told me there's only two branches of the United States military. There's the Army and there's the Navy. The Air Force is a corporation and the Marines is a cult. And I don't mean that negatively. I just mean the Marines are the only branch that's ever been officially asked by PETA to quit drinking Cobra blood. Yeah, that actually happened. They're the only branch of the U.S. military that has a phrase that goes something like, There's no such thing as an ex-Marine. You're a Marine forever. These guys do not fuck around. Now, I've never been to hell, but I'm assuming it is where you just relive the day that the United States Marines invade your country over and over and over again. Because these motherfuckers roll up in legitimate transformers. Their goddamn helicopters turn into airplanes in mid-fucking flight. Their boats turn into fucking tanks. These crazy motherfuckers are known for having the worst living conditions, the worst fucking budget, and the hardest training and the lowest life expectancy out of any other branch of the military. Why? Because fuck you, they're Marines and they're willing to fight about it. Seriously, getting in a firefight with the United States Marines sounds terrifying. It's like getting into a firefight in Call of Duty against a 7-year-old that's got cheat codes where he just doesn't fucking run out of bullets. Let me give you guys an example. This right here is a Mark 19. What's a Mark 19, you ask? A Mark 19 is maybe the most terrifying weapon I've ever fucking seen in my life. It's a machine gun that shoots grenades. I'm gonna say that slower. It's a fucking machine gun that shoots goddamn grenades. And these guys never leave home without it. It's fucking terrifying. But if you don't believe me, go on YouTube, watch the GoPro footage from these guys' deployments, and it's like, oh, we've got an enemy on the left. Oh, where's he at? Oh, just fucking send it. Just fucking... Anything that was on the left isn't fucking there anymore. At all. It's just gone. Like, what fucking middle schooler designed this fucking weapon? It's insane. And then they gave it to a bunch of guys that drink Cobra blood for fun. And if you ever get a chance to go drinking with a bunch of Marines, do it. Fucking do it. It's like trying to herd a bunch of toddlers, except all the toddlers can beat your ass. Like, you go out drinking with a bunch of Marines, you just get to talk mad shit to everybody. Because they'll just clear out the whole fucking bar. And then even if the cops do show up, one of those motherfuckers is a Marine, and he's gonna let you guys off. So, yeah, in conclusion, if you're a Marine, thanks for your service, I love you all. And if you're not a Marine and you see some shit like this coming up your beach one day, fucking run. Because you're either going to get your ass beat or you're going to get dead.
This is heavy. It's warm. Loads of it. I'm impressed with it. This is the bearskin practical hoodie. Thousands of men around already love wearing the bearskin hoodie instead of their regular hoodies. Why? Because sure, your average hoodie provides decent insulation to keep you warm. But as soon as you go outside, the wind blows, the rain pours, and you get cold. That's why we designed the new and improved Bearskin Hoodie 4.0 with improved insulation technology on the waist, arms, and hood. Plus, now you can attach the new heavy storm rain jacket to the inside of the hoodie for an instant waterproof layer that blocks rain double time. Finally, a functional hoodie you can actually take outside. You're seeing this video because we want to offer you 60% off the Bearskin 4.0.
John Rambo, the action hero that was an unstoppable, unkillable Green Beret from the Vietnam War that went into battle with nothing more than a big knife. This video is not about him. It's also not about the man that inspired that character. That was Audie Murphy. This video is about the real Rambo. The actual man that was inspired to join the military because of Audie Murphy, that would go on to become a Green Beret and go into combat against 1,000 men with nothing more than a big knife. Today we're talking about call sign Tango Mike, a.k.a. that mean Mexican Master Sergeant Roy Benavides. This video is brought to you by Delete Me.
I thought you'd never ask.
My drill sergeant told me there's only 2 branches of the United States military. There's the Army and there's the Navy. The Air Force is... Before the Marine video got taken down, you guys wanted me to review the infantry, so we can do that. We're talking about God's favorite MLS. 11 Bravos. Grunts. Mother Nature has a way of letting you know what her most dangerous creations are, so you know to not fuck with them. Whether that be the aspel on a rattlesnake, the red hourglass on a black widow, the roar of a lion, or this blue cord right here. Unlike the Marines, it takes an act of Congress to deploy the Army. That means you fucked up so bad you got the Republicans and the Democrats to agree on something.
You fucked it up bad enough, they will next day air these motherfuckers to your front doorstep. Make no mistake, if you see some shit like this, your country just got turned into the next episode of the Hunger Games, and you're about to find out what a young American will do for free college and free healthcare. Free. Now, they wear multicam now, but back in my day, they wore this shit. Which I would argue is better, because there's a certain amount of psychological damage you do when you beat the enemy dressed like a fucking Minecraft character. Now, the Marines and the Army will both put you in a forever box with ease. However, it's the tone in which they do it that sets them apart from one another. See, the Marines are known for coming at you like a rabid dog, hence their name Devil Dogs. And the 11 Bravos, on the other hand, just don't give a fuck about any of it. I once knew a grunt that when he would kick in a door with bad guys behind it, instead of throwing in a flashbang grenade, he would throw in a rubber duck because he thought it was funny.
You can go on the internet and watch real-life footage where they were having a barbecue and got ambushed by the Taliban and didn't bother to quit grilling. You are nothing more than a policeman. You are not a threat. All they want to do is eat food and take a nap.
But make no mistake, if you cut that nap short, they will put on their flip-flops and beat your fucking ass in their underwear if they have to. Once provoked, these guys turn into the fucking Terminator. There's nowhere you can hide. They will just walk until they find you. You can go to the highest mountain at its highest peak, and these guys will strap on an 85-pound backpack full of beef jerky and bullets and hunt you down. And the scariest part about that is that they are fueled almost exclusively by nicotine, caffeine, and hate. I have seen these men drink till 3 in the morning, only to get up at 6 in the morning and run 6 miles at a sub-7-minute pace. There is truly nothing you can do to them that they won't do to themselves for fun. Their main battle strategy is to go on patrols, which is a fancy way of saying they're just going to get their gear and walk around until somebody picks a fight with them. They're literally playing the world's largest game of fuck around and find out. And if you do decide to fuck around and find out, you will feel like a 5-year-old trying to wrestle his father. You are outmatched and outclassed on a level that you can barely comprehend. In conclusion, it would behoove you to just let them chew tobacco, shotgun energy drinks, and take naps. Because if you wake them up from that nap, you're probably going to take a nap forever.
When you go rogue, you don't just settle for a little flavor. You want flavors that pack a punch. Now with more than 10 bold flavors, go rogue. Michael's trees I've never seen in my neck.
We talked about grunts, both Marine and Army, but we did not talk about the other member in their squad. We're talking about Doc. We're talking about the only guy on the battlefield that can both stack and unstack bodies. While a lot of people just think of him as a Motrin vending machine, they'll tell you to drink enough earth sauce. But in reality, Doc's a pretty bad motherfucker. I don't know if you've ever seen a grunt in person or in action, but they are fucking enormous. And these are the only guys rated to pick them up and carry them home. Doc also has to keep up with the grunts while carrying an extra 35-pound medical bag. It's for reasons like this that Doc is one of the only other MOSs besides infantry that is granted non-POG status. Or POG, however you want to say it. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but this guy's actually the most dangerous motherfucker on the battlefield. Here's why. I said in my previous videos that grunts just don't give a fuck. That was kind of a lie. They do have one fuck to give, and that is for Doc. There is absolutely no way on the planet to get unalive faster than to fuck with a grunt's medic. See, there's a special relationship between a grunt and his medic. Doc's the guy that'll give you an IV so you're not hungover in the morning. Doc's the guy that'll pick a tick out of your taint with his fucking teeth if he has to. But most importantly, when the shit hits the fan, Doc is these guys' only lifeline. When you attack Doc, you not only attack a member of their squad, you attack their squad as a whole at the same fucking time. See, if you take a pop shot at a squad of grunts, they'll return fire. But if you take a pop shot and it lands anywhere fucking near Doc, things are going to escalate very quick. Brigades will immediately get looped. Belts are getting run through the 240. Before you realize that you even made a fucking mistake, you're already getting flanked. What's about to happen to you will get brought up the next time Geneva has a convention. Times like this is when these become deadly weapons. I guess what I'm trying to say is if you ever need to point a gun at the infantry, do not point it at the guy with the big backpack first. Because when you pull that trigger, you sign the most certain death wish in existence. Even a man walking down death row for the last time has a better shot at making it through that than you do, because he at least has a chance that God will perform a miracle. You don't, because God loves you. That's why he sent the battlefield angel to protect him. In conclusion, whether you hear these guys yelling hoo-ah or hoo-rah, it would behoove you not to fuck with their medic. If you enjoyed this video and would like to buy me a beer about it, there is a link in my bio. There is also a link in my bio to my YouTube channel. These videos seem to get taken down on TikTok. I will re-upload them there, and hopefully they'll stay there forever. Thank you for your service.
Guys, do something special for your wife this year with a gift that she'll cherish forever. It says, to my wife, I didn't marry you so that I could live with you. I married you because I can't live without you. I may not be your first date, your first kiss, or your first love, but I just want to be your last everything. I squeezed this necklace really tight and filled it with my love and light. If I'm ever not here and you need a hug, just hold this close to feel my love. Love, your husband. This necklace is absolutely breathtaking, elegant, and unique. It comes in a premium wooden mahogany box with a soft LED light that makes it shine beautifully. The heartfelt message included says everything she deserves to hear. Stock is running low, so don't wait. Click shop now below.
Install roof vents faster, cleaner, with a more professional appearance with a roof goose vent, a superior roof termination solution. The RG4, RG6, and RG8 line of roof vents allows roof termination to be a much simpler install than it was in the past. Designed to solve every issue of the roof, Roof Goose Vents keeps the installer in mind. With a simple sleeve and gooseneck assembly, the install process is as quick as installing a vertical riser clamp, sliding the sleeve over the underlying galvanized duct, aligning the pegs of the gooseneck, and locking it into place. We've supplied everything needed to make your job simple and with a superior finish. No more dealing with custom field fabrication, PC duct sealing, and heavy fittings. The roof goose line of roofers flashing with
Hello, hello, hello.
The rain collar slides easily during the and prevents water from getting to the sensitive roof flashing joint of the galvanized duct. The peg and channel design of the gooseneck make installing the roof goose a quick process and a professional finish. There's no need to look for instructions. It's bolted right onto the vent. And the flexibility of the neck direction allows for neck to be turned with a 90-degree increments. The dryer vent kits are made for easy removal for cleaning removal. The Roof Vent line of products is superior in so many ways. It's made of a proprietary plastic blend for superior roof durability and consistent, long-lasting performance. This is a solution, eliminating inconsistent field fabrications, and makes the install process easily repeatable and reliable. It's easy to inventory, comes in 2 packages, one for the rough portion of the install, and the second with the finished components. It's long-lasting. Elaborate.
All right, today we're going to what might be the most famous unit on the planet, the Navy SEALs. But first, sponsors this video would like to remain anonymous. I would like to dedicate this video to the 75th Ranger Regiment. Everyone knows that Navy SEALs are badass. Everyone knows it takes a lot to be one. Everyone knows that their issues with their bugs is terrible. I'm not going to waste my breath. Christ, you guys are scary. Sorry, hold on. Let's see how close I ever get to this selfie with Jocko. One, they're force multipliers. Navy SEAls that go out and help the Army, the Marines, or the Rangers. Sometimes they have to attack. The enemy going to the battlefield and knowing that they're on the battlefield on your team. And stick around, there's the holy shit out of the enemy. And makes the whole thing go smoothly. But it's like battlefield night. Well, what makes these guys really famous? Do you remember the 75th Ranger Regiment video? Or the Green Beret video? Every American on the forces is the best in the world at something. Army says the forces are the best in destabilize the country. Navy SEALs, on the other hand, can rip off one of the bad guys. See, when these guys show up, you haven't just pissed off Uncle Sam. You probably pissed off the American people as a whole. But not only the lay down and pretend to be dead. And in case you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm saying that if you're a peanut potato, look out. You know, but get started. No, dictators, look out. Now, it is truly hard to grasp how exceptionally badass Navy SEALs are. So let me give you a proportional example. No. That one scared me too. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, this is Tim Henry. He is a Green Beret, Special Forces Sniper, Army Ranger. 19th retired. At one point, he made a run of 185-pound UFC MMA World Championship. Got ranked, I believe, in the top 5 in the world. And as far as I can go, got more than the best fighters on the planet. And with that, he's the Special Forces. I'm trying to tell you he's a fucking badass. Now, why do I tell you this? If Tim Kennedy was asked who was more badass on a live podcast, Navy SEALs or Army Special Forces, to which he replied, everybody is the best at something, but I wouldn't want to fight a Navy SEAL anywhere near water, like 10 to 15 miles near water. Now, admittedly, I'm not a mathematician, but all the Earth sauce plus 15 miles deep on every coastline is like 87% of the fucking planet. In conclusion, if you happen to be one of the baddest men on Earth, you might maybe possibly consider messing with the Navy SEALs if you're in some landlocked cornfield like Iowa or Nebraska, which is basically Iowa, but from Wish.com. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the designs I have behind me in all my videos, most of them are now shirts. You can find them at this link in my bio. If you're watching this not on TikTok, try the video description. Or you can go to bunkerbranding.com and type in The Fat Electrician. It'll pop up. So until next time, thank you for your service. Bang, bang out.
Therapy has always been such a scary idea to me because I simply did not know where to get started. I didn't know how to find my person. I did not know where to go until BetterHelp.
Norman, North Carolina. It is the same exact story I've told time and time again. These guys all had the same childhood. He grew up during the Great Depression. He really liked boxing. He got in a ton of trouble and got in a lot of fights. When he was 8 years old, his uncle gifted him a Marine Corps dress uniform hat, and he absolutely loved it. He wore the thing to school every day for months, and from that moment on, he always wanted to be a Marine. Fast forward to when he was 11, his dad would pass away from cancer, and Jack, understandably so, didn't take it that well and started getting in even more trouble and more fights. By the time he was 13, his mother, who was still in her mid-30s, was trying to find a new husband, and every time she would bring a guy home, the young 13-year-old Jack, who was a pretty big kid for his age and pretty skilled at boxing, would threaten to beat the shit out of him.
I'm 10 years old, but I'll beat your ass.
That, combined with all the other trouble and fights that he was already getting into, his mother had no choice but to send him off to military school. It is there at the Evans Military Institute that Jack and all the other cadets would gather around the radio to hear the news broadcasts that the Japanese had attacked Pearl Harbor. Jack described this moment as the end of his childhood, and from this moment on, it became his sole ambition in life to go fight the Japanese to avenge Pearl Harbor. The only problem is he's 13 and he's got to be 17 to join the United States Marine Corps, so he did the only thing he could do. He finished out classes, graduated the 8th grade, and went back home for summer. He gets home, Mom doesn't just have a new boyfriend, Mom has a new husband. It is a used car salesman and alcoholic by the name of Radford Jones, and it is very clear to the young Jack Lucas that this man has married his mother for the insurance money that they got from his father passing, and he is already doing his damnedest to burn his way through it. So obviously Jack is not a big fan of this guy and threatens to beat the shit out of him multiple times, which is actually a threat that carries some weight because now at 14 he is 5'8", 180 pounds, and pretty good at boxing. So obviously the home life situation is pretty tense. The one redeeming quality of Radford Jones is that he had 2 sons that he brought into the marriage, so Jack now had 2 stepbrothers. And over the course of that summer, he truly came to think of them as his brothers. And then the oldest brother, Billy, would go off and join the Navy. By this point in time, summer's coming to an end. He's getting ready to go back to military school, and he dreads the idea. He doesn't want to go to military school. He wants to go to the military. He wants to be a Marine, and he wants to fight the Japanese to avenge Pearl Harbor. So he decides that's exactly what he's going to do. He goes to the Marine Corps recruiter, lies, says he's 17 years old, gets the parental permission slip to take back home to have his mom sign it. Mom obviously refuses to sign it. He needs to go back to school, not go fight in World War II. So Jack promises his mom, hey, give me your blessing to go do this, and I promise you as soon as I get back, I'll finish school. At which point his mom was like, okay, fine, you have my blessing, but I'm not going to lie for you. This permission slip says you need to be 17 years old, and you're 14. If you wait until you're 17, I will sign and give you my blessing to go off to war.
No! What are you waiting for? Do it! Yes, you can!
For Jack, this wasn't good enough, so he forges her signature right in front of her and then tells stepdad Radford Jones to hop in the car and give him a ride to the recruiter's office. They get there, Jack goes in, hands over the parental consent form to the Marine Corps recruiter, and the Marine Corps recruiter's like, great, where's your birth certificate? And Jack is like, what? And the Marine Corps recruiter's like, yeah, we need your birth certificate too. Okay, important context here. There was a ton of people that lied about their age and got into the military way before they should have in the Army and the Navy, but for some reason the Marine Corps during World War II demanded birth certificates and verified your age to a degree that most other branches simply didn't. I have read multiple accounts of this, and I have even personally been told by a World War II Marine that was at Mount Suribachi when they raised the flag at Iwo Jima that if you wanted to be a Marine, you had to be 17.
He's welcome to do you, young man. I said, I want to sign up. He said, how old are you? I said, 16. He says, I can't take you. You got to be 17. He said, when you get to be 17, come back and see me if we can do business.
So he could just walk right next door and try to join the Army or the Navy and probably get away with it, but he's always wanted to be a Marine since he was 8 years old. So he walks back out to the car, Radford's still sitting in it, head hanging low, he's absolutely devastated. At which point, Radford Jones, fucking stepdad of the year, is like, what? I thought I got rid of you. Why are you back? Jack tells him it's not going to work because he has to have his birth certificate to prove that he's 17 years old, otherwise the Marine Corps isn't going to take him. So Radford Jones marches right back into the recruiter's office and goes full car salesman mode. Walks right up to the Marine recruiter and is like, hey, I'm the stepdad, the kid's definitely 17. His mom actually lost his birth certificate in a house fire. Actually, now that I think of it, I don't even think he ever had a birth certificate, because it's the early 1940s and all kinds of people were still born at home. The government doesn't even know that this kid still exists, okay? You don't believe me? We can cut one of his arms off right now and count the rings. I guarantee you there's 17 of them.
I think you ought to buy everything right now. You want to know why? Because this Buick is you. The color is you. Look at it. This is your car.
At this point, the recruiter's like, Alright, fine, whatever. Hands Jack a clipboard with a piece of paper, fill this out, sign your name at the bottom. Jack does it, signs his name, turns around to, begrudgingly thanks Stepdad for helping him out. Stepdad's already gone. Car's not even in the parking lot. Dude bounced. Cool, that doesn't matter. He got what he wanted. He's officially enlisted at the age of 14 on August 6th, 1942.
2024 was iconic. Oh, man, we had a finance. And it all started with a little TikTok. He helped launch new authors. He even got us back into bookstores. Does one little TikTok can spark purpose big impact. These mushrooms make you feel better. Like, a lot better. These mushrooms help you focus while lowering stress, keeping you calm, but sharp. They reduce bloat and protect your gut so you can digest better. Plus, they boost your immunity so you can stay healthy and energized. Oh, by the way, they taste good too. Someone should make a coffee out of this stuff. Rise. Feel better.
He immediately gets sent off to basic training, and he absolutely crushes it, gets put in a leadership role. Alright, today we're talking about what might be the most famous unit on the planet, the Navy SEALs. Alright, today we're going over the big tab. If you have no situational awareness and you don't know what I'm talking about, that would be the Army Special Forces. Before you ask, yes, this is the Green Beret. Yes, this is what Rambo was. I'm going to preface this whole video by saying that every United States military special operations group in the world is the best in the world at what they do. They all do different shit, and they're all the best at it. Meaning that no special forces group in the United States is better than the other. They're all the best at what they do. I cannot make this more apparent. You wouldn't call a hammer the best tool in the world if you were trying to put a fucking screw in the wall, would you? And before you get in the comments section saying dumb shit like, the SAS is way better, the Russian Spetsnaz is way better. We're not talking about metric shit today. We're doing shit close. Deal with it. Anyways, to get the Special Forces tab, you have to be selected through a selection process. Well, what are they looking for in the selection process? I have no fucking idea. It's a secret. Apparently they say they're not looking for the best candidate. They're looking for the right candidate. I don't know what that means. And the only people that do are people that have this on their shoulder and people that are fucking lying. Ladies and gentlemen, having this tab on your shoulder right here is basically having a doctorate degree of being a fucking grunt. These men are so badass, Uncle Sam doesn't even care about their dress code. They're allowed to do shit like grow beards and wear leather belts. So what do you have to do to be this badass, dropping guys in a ball cap? Well, let's consult their challenge coin for that. Anything, anytime, anywhere. More secrets. Okay, here's the deal. If it's badass training, these guys have probably done it. Deep water insertion training, demolition training, underwater demolition training, underwater EOD training. My personal favorite, SEER training, which stands for Survival, Evasion, Resistance, Escape. This is the shit in the ring. And then they do all your other, well-known badass shit. Jumping in a plane, badass aerosol type shit where you're just a set of truck nuts on a Chinook, I guess? What really sets these guys apart is that there's multiple special forces units and they're all assigned a specific theater of the world. Theater meaning a specific region of the world. After assigned, they become experts in that region of the world, going as far as learning the local languages, learning and studying about the local economics. Why do grow multiple languages and economics? Well, it's because these grunts aren't for stacking bodies. They're for stacking countries. You see, these PhD-bearing grunts, doctor grunts, are meant to be dropped in a 12-man group into a country, at which point they will do what the says they're going to do. And their charter says, and I quote, to destabilize current governments and or regimes in such a manner that they can be deemed neutralized. That is a fancy way of saying these grunts are going to take your whole country, throw it in a burlap sack, shake the holy shit out of it, and then tactical maneuver. If you're out stargazing one night and you see a bunch of guys like this fall out of the sky, I definitely wouldn't fuck with them. But more importantly, I would go home and start packing my shit. Podcast by night! Podcast by night! All day!
Hello, good to see you. Thanks for having me back. My pleasure. Good to see you where the world's still functional.
Alright, today we're going over the big tab. If you have no situational awareness and you don't know what I'm talking about, that would be the Army Special. Okay, we talked about the Ranger tab, but let's talk about the Ranger Scroll. Just to reiterate, the Ranger tab is a tab that you get to shoulder when you go through Ranger School, which is a leadership course. The Ranger Scroll, however, you have to go through a selection process called RAS. If you are selected from that selection process, you will then be stationed with the 75th Ranger Regiment out of Fort Benning, Georgia. Now, there's controversy as to what makes you a Army Ranger. Some people say you have to have the Ranger tab and the Ranger Scroll. Some people say you just need the Ranger Scroll. Some people say you need the Ranger tab, the Ranger Scroll, and to deploy with the 75th Ranger Regiment. Here's the deal. I've never went to Ranger School. I've never been attached to the 75th Ranger Regiment. Well, as far as I'm concerned, if you have either of these on your uniform and you say you're a Ranger, I'm just going to go with it. Because I'm not qualified to split those hairs because I haven't done either. If you're qualified to split those hairs, you do you. And I'll do me. Because I'm just here to drink beer and move electrons. Anyways, if you don't know, you can identify a 75th Ranger Regiment member by wearing the tail. If you don't know, the 75th Ranger Regiment is considered a special operations group. The Ranger Regiment is probably the military's sharpest blunt instrument. And what I mean by that is other special operation groups refer to the 75th Ranger Regiment as a fire and forget team. Meaning that when you send the Rangers in to solve a problem, you can then just fucking forget about that problem. Because it's about to be not a problem. Now, every type of special operations group in any branch of the military has the one thing that they excel at. The one thing that they're the best in the world at. So what are the Rangers the best at? If military leadership decides to send these guys after you, you fucked up. You fucked up so bad that they want you gone by tomorrow. They do not care about the optics. They don't care what the news headlines read. They want you gone. And they are going to send the world's largest horde of apex grunts to do it. Because at the end of the day, that's all these guys are. The United States Army took the top 1% of all the grunts they had, and then consolidated them in one unit. Taught them how to jump out of fucking airplanes, then pointed them at some shit they didn't like and said, get rid of it. I don't care how. For example, the urban legend of the confirmed kill of the MRE spoon? Ranger. The man who neutralized the suicide bomber in Iraq with nothing but his bare hands. Ranger. In my previous 11 Bravo video, I said that the 11 Bravos would strap on an 85-pound backpack full of beef jerky and bullets and hunt you down. That they would walk until they find you. The Rangers don't need the food. It's just going to be 85 pounds of bullets. And they'll run. It's like Michael Myers coming at you. Michael Myers was sprinting. What I'm trying to say is, this is a can of whoop ass you can't put the lid back on. Somebody's getting in the forever box, and it's probably not going to be them. In conclusion, if you see a bunch of guys with this shit on their shoulder, I hope you're good at hiding because you're not going to fucking outrun them. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed my content, well, maybe you'd like to buy me a beer about it. There's a link for that in my bio. If you're watching this on YouTube, that link is in the video description. There's also a link for my YouTube and my Instagram in my bio. My Instagram is going to be the best place for information on when t-shirts are coming out. So until next time, thank you for your service. And remember, it's never a war crime first time.
Gabapentin is bringing you closer to amputation. These are 3 symptoms that are signaling that you could be close to losing your foot. I'm going to show you the critical signs, why it happens, and...
Alright, we talked about the PJs, now we gotta talk about the other special operations docks. Got the 2 different flavors. Got the aquatic flavor, known as the SARC. This is gonna be docked for anything that is special operations under the Navy or the Marine Corps. Marine Force Recon, Marine Raiders, Navy SEALs, and Dev Group, aka SEAL Team 6. Probably some other shit that doesn't exist. We have the pickle flavored one, which is the 18 Delta. This is the MOS code for the Army Special Forces Medical Sergeant. This is gonna be a dock for the Army Special Forces Group, as well as Delta. Both these guys go to SOCM, which is a Special Operations Combat Medic School. Medically speaking, this puts them on par with a PA, or a physician's assistant, which is basically the highest thing in the medical field you can achieve besides being a doctor and saying they know their shit. Now, while the PJs show up after somebody gets hurt, these guys go out with the grunts for the whole mission, meaning that these guys are also grunts until somebody gets hurt. I'm trying to tell you that they're an unhealthcare provider way before they're a healthcare provider. It is for that reason that the 18 Delta and the SARC, unlike the PJs, can actually become snipers. Yeah, sniper Doc. Because he doesn't need to fix his guys when he can just ventilate your torso from 2 miles away. See, Doc is the defensive player on the team trying to make sure everybody gets home. But this Doc understands the best defense is a good offense. Here's what's important to understand. SARCs and 18 Deltas have to be NCOs. If you don't know military rank that well, that's these ones right here. It means they're not commissioned officers. If you've watched all my videos, you should have learned at least 3 things by now. Don't fuck with Doc. If you shoot the officer, you're going to find out it's never a war crime the first time. And the only people that use the metric system are people that need to use their fingers to count. Maybe if you guys take your socks off so you can count to 12, you'd make it to the moon too. That one's not very relevant right now. It's still very important. Now, the reason I bring this up is, could you imagine if there was an officer, Doc? Now imagine if the enemy shot him. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Now, you don't know, shooting at Doc pisses off the grunts is a very swift death. Shooting at the officer is also bad because he's the only one that gives a fuck about the Geneva Convention. Meaning the grunts are going to get very irregular. Shooting an officer, Doc, we're about to find out war crimes only count if there's evidence. You gotta realize, we're talking about special forces here. This is the baddest men on the planet with the biggest budget on Earth. I'm trying to say they're probably gonna fucking get away with it. I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying it's gonna happen. I mean, can you imagine for the low, low price of 1 bullet shot at officer sniper, Doc? You can get the entire U.S. Department of Offense's budget pointed directly at you alone. All 758 are so fucking big you can see it from the moon. If you can make it there first. Take your socks off so you can count to 12 and put in the fucking effort. Old Glory's getting lonely out there. Like, you're gonna be completely dematerialized. Cue the comment section. Actually, matter can't be created or destroyed. That's against laws of thermodynamics, so dematerialization is impossible. You know what? I'll let you take that one up with the United States Air Force. They've been putting warheads on foreheads since 1947. They find out you shot an officer sniper, Doc. They're gonna drop something so fucking bright that guy's soul's gonna have a sunburn. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed my content and maybe you'd like to buy me a beer about it, there's a link for that right here. That is also the link where you can find my merchandise. So until next time, thank you for your service. Quack bang out.
This is the Premium Garmin Duffel 45 liter by Half Day. It's a transforming 2-in-1 travel duffel bag for long weekends, weddings, and business trips. The hanging compartment comfortably fits up to size 40 regular jacket or suit, shirts, and dresses to keep them wrinkle-free. This bag has also been updated with ballistic nylon, so it's scratch-proof and water-resistant. It also has a ton of pockets.
Today we're talking about Air Force PJs. This episode brought by Shynessy, the sag for underwear. The only underwear with anti-bat-wing technology. Ladies and gentlemen, when things go wrong, we grunts call up the world's largest wholesaler of forever boxes, the United States Air Force. Affectionately known as the Chair Force because, well, they're basically desk receptionists. They will schedule you an appointment with a deity of your choosing from a distance. But what happens when the grunts don't just need help deleting bad guys? What happens when the grunts need to be saved? That is when the Air Force takes a more hands-on approach. It deploys what I can only describe as the battlefield archangel. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about pararescue, also known as the Air Force PJs. That is the wrong fucking picture. Damn it, that's better. The Air Force PJs. If you don't know what a PJ is, the easiest way I can explain this to you is they are the 911 service for the baddest men on the planet. This is who the Green Berets and the Navy SEALs call when things go wrong. These guys only go on suicide missions, and they're so badass they just call them missions. Now, if you don't know, PJs are a special operations group, which means they are the best in the world at something. The thing they are best at is being Doc. I said the Green Berets basically had a doctorate degree in being a grunt. The PJs have a doctorate degree in being Doc. Doc squared, if you will. You see, Doc might be the only guy that can stack and unstack bodies on the battlefield. The PJs take that to another level. They will straight up exhume your remains and bring you back to life. They are a battlefield necromancer. What I'm trying to say is if the PJs would have excavated the pyramids instead of archaeologists, we'd probably have a pharaoh alive today. One Green Beret that I talked to said that these guys will save your life with one hand while laying down suppressive fire with the other. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, here's the deal. When a good guy gets hurt, these men jump out of a plane, rappel out of a helicopter, do absolutely whatever it takes to get to that injured person and bring them home. These men have every intention of bringing you home or not coming home themselves. See, these guys only get called when the metric system has hit the fan. Yeah, I call the metric system shit. Freedom fractions forever. Deal with it. If you're a bad guy and you see an Air Force PJ coming, Uncle Sam has just played his reverse card. If you put a grunt in his grave and you see a PJ, you're going in that grave instead, and that grunt's coming home. 3 minutes is not enough time to adequately explain to you how badass these men are. You have to be the best of the best to even qualify to get a chance to be a PJ. And if you get that chance, it is 2 years of hard training, the hardest training the military has to offer. This training has a 90% attrition rate, meaning that of the best, 1 out of 10 makes it. These men are willing to subject themselves to that hardship for no other reason than the opportunity to go on a suicide mission to save someone they probably don't even know. That is why their motto is so that others may live. These men are quite literally warrior monks that have dedicated their lives and sacrificed their bodies to simply be ready in case they're needed. So in conclusion, the Air Force doesn't go hands-on very often. But when they do, it is a hands-on PJ reaching into the afterlife to bring grunts home. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed my content, maybe like to buy me a beer about it. Don't. At least not today. But it would be a huge favor to me if you could click this button right here in my bio. It'll take you here, and then just hit subscribe. It is hands down the best way to support this channel with zero cost to you. So until next time, quack bang out.
I want to know, have you made this mistake with your holster? And by mistake, I mean, did you get a holster that's uncomfortable so you don't carry all the time? You may have. And even if you have, you probably want a holster that's more comfortable. Enter the Vanish holster, the world's most comfortable holster. And guess what? Today, it's buy one, get one free on these. That's right. We're not going to run this special forever, but if you grab one right now, you'll get one of these already at a discount, and then you'll get the second one 100% free. Why would you want this holster? You know, that's a great question. And the reason is, it's comfortable. Like I said, we've built it with premium materials like this yoga.
Today we're trying to go what might be the scariest thing Uncle Sam's ever shoved out the back of a plane. Ladies and gentlemen, the 82nd Airborne Division. Identified by their patch, the AA, standing for Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay, fine, it stands for All Americans. But seriously, they drink a lot. But their job is to jump out of a plane into enemy territory and be completely surrounded. Who wouldn't drink? Now, if you're a bad guy, the reason the 82nd Airborne is so scary is because they have an immediate response force. That force is made up of 4,000 above average grunts that can get on a plane and be anywhere on the planet in 18 hours or less. Like, do you understand how ridiculous that is? The logistical feat alone is amazing. Let's just assume the average grunt weighs 185 pounds, which I think is fair because they've probably been eating creatine since they were 10. You multiply that by 4,000, you got 740,000 pounds of man meat that's going to get dropped on your fucking forehead. And you thought warheads were bad. And it's not like these guys are going to be in a good mood when they land either, okay? Jumping out of a plane for Uncle Sam and jumping out of a plane for fun as a civilian are two completely different things. You gotta realize these guys are jumping out with an extra 150 pounds of gear on, and their parachutes were made by the cheapest bidder. They hit the ground going 26 miles an hour. I'm trying to tell you, these guys just got done playing patty cake with the fucking planet and won. What do you think they're gonna do to you? Give me a hint, it's not gonna be good. See, it takes congressional approval to unleash the 82nd Airborne. It means you've got the Republicans and the Democrats to agree on something. And they're about to pass the biggest un-infrastructure bill your country's ever seen. And they do all that in 18 hours or less. Do you understand how fast that is? If you're a bad guy, you could fuck up at lunch, have dinner, go to bed, and wake up in America's newest state. That is unhealth care on demand. Like, if you see these guys jumping out of a plane, you started your free trial of America Prime, whether you know it or not. Imagine you're just some anonymous low-level henchman and your boss was running his mouth to Uncle Sam yesterday, and you wake up and you see this. First of all, you're basically the bad guy's version of Paul Revere at this point. You know, the midnight ride guy, hang one lantern by land, two with my sea, the British are coming, that guy. Yeah, that's you. You're the metric version. How many lanterns do you have to hang for that? And this is usually the part where somebody chimes into the comment section and says some dumb shit like, I don't understand why everybody cares about airborne. Airborne hasn't been relevant since World War II. Yeah, neither have nuclear warheads. It's the threat of their existence that matters. But don't take my word for it. Let's just look at history. In 1991 in Haiti, there was a coup to overthrow the democratically elected president. That coup succeeded, and Haiti was under the control of a military regime until 1994 when the American government said, okay, give it back. The head of the military regime said, nah. So the United States government said, suing yourself, and gave him a live feed of the 82nd Airborne loading planes to come get him. And that guy said, on second thought, I'm going to retire. The end. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoy my content and would like to support it, there is a link to my merch store and all my other links at thefatelectrician.com. So until next time, thank you for your service. Bye out.
Show your daughter how much you love her with...
Amazon hates this, but there's nothing they can do to stop it. There's a new electric lighter out there, and it's got the firepower of a military-grade flamethrower.
We talked about snipers. Now we have to talk about infantry scouts. This video is brought to you by the Midwest 34th Infantry Division. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. There's a misconception that snipers are all special forces. They definitely can be special forces. More often than not, they are 11 Bravos from the Scout Sniper Platoon that then went and graduated from sniper school. So what is the Scout Sniper Platoon then? Scout Sniper Platoon is a battalion-level asset for the infantry. The battalion is about 1,000 troops, which can then be divided into 5 or 6 companies. A company is about 200 troops that can then be divided into 3 to 4 platoons. And a platoon is anywhere from 20 to 50 guys. So out of 1,000 infantry grunts, you have 20 to 50 Scout Snipers. Scout Sniper Platoon is typically something you have to go through a selection process to be a part of. Selection process like a military tryout. So in theory, you should be an above-average grunt if you're part of the Scout Sniper Platoon. Scout Sniper Platoon basically does 2 things. They escort Bill Nye the Science Grunt to his objective, and they conduct on-foot reconnaissance, which basically means they sneak around the woods unnoticed, tell the regular infantry where the bad guys are, and then watch from afar as the infantry turns the bad guy into a giant flower bed. So I'm trying to tell you the infantry scouts are just grunts. They're a special kind of grunt. What makes them special is how fucking stealthy they are. It's like Invisigrunt. These guys can run full speed through the woods at night, wearing an 85-pound backpack and not make a single sound, leaving no evidence that they were ever there except for the faint smell of grizzly long-cut wintergreen and peppered beef jerky. The infantry scouts that I trained with would actually make their own George W. costumes out of real-life plants from the surrounding environment because they wanted to blend in as much as possible. These guys would actually paint their faces like the movies. They were so detailed and meticulous that they all wore their watches backwards because they didn't want the moonlight or the sunlight to catch the face of the watch and create a glare that can be seen from a distance. But if you were to ever ask them why they wore their watch backwards, that's not the answer you get. They would say something along the lines of, so I know the enemy's time of death. Because if you're wearing a one dominant hand, you can actually see what time it is while you're shouldering your rifle. I'm trying to tell you, these guys are the John Cena of the battlefield. Here's the deal. Scouts are probably the only grunts that don't want to actually engage the enemy. They just want to go unnoticed and then go home. But one thing is certain. Someone is going unnoticed. And if you accidentally find the scouts making it so they can't go unnoticed, you're going to go unnoticed forever. But you're not only going to die, you're going to die silently. It's gonna be like a Charlie Chaplin film. I talked to you guys about the Gurkhas and their slippery boomerangs. Allow me to introduce you to the American equivalent, the motherfucking E-tool. It is a collapsible shovel with a serrated edge. Uncle Sam issues to the troops so they can clear vegetation. Finding the scouts is probably the fastest way I can think of to come face to face with one of these. I'm trying to tell you, they're going to give you a throwback ass whooping. They're going to stack your ass in 420p. You're going to get unalived and analog. You're going to get a one-way ticket to the Forever Box so low-tech even Amish people think it's old school. In conclusion, if you're a bad guy and you've ever seen the infantry scouts, you should pretend you didn't, because it's going to go from a game of hide-and-go-seek to shovel tag real quick. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed my content, maybe like to buy me a beer about it, there's a link for that right here. There's also the link where you can find all my shirts and stickers, as well as my 1776 prescription sunglasses and my Sactical underwear. So until next time, thank you for your service. Quack bang out.
This is heavy. It's warm. Look, promise.
This holiday, Verizon will turn your old or broken phone into a gift. Trade in any phone, in any condition, and get Google Pixel 9 Pro with Gemini, an AI assistant from Google. Plus watch and tap, all three on us. Survive the holidays with Google, powered by Verizon.
Today we're talking about the military's jack of all trades. The Marines 1371, the Army's 12 Bravo.
And it wasn't 21 Bravo for a minute.
But it's back to the 12 Bravo. And of course, part of the Navy's construction battalion, the motherfucking Seabees. If you haven't figured it out yet, we're talking about combat engineers. There's one thing I can't stand about combat engineers, and that's their job title. When you say engineer to a normal person, they think you're sitting in an air-conditioned office all day on the computer, playing with your tablet, or looking at a set of blueprints. Well, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that to make a living. That is not an accurate depiction of what these motherfuckers do. Now, these guys do a little bit of everything on the battlefield. You need some fortifications built, call the engineers. You need some shit unbuilt, call the engineers. And if you need body staff, you can still call the fucking engineers. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say. Combat engineers facilitate the mobility of friendly forces while impeding that of the enemy. And while I'm not world renowned for my reading comprehension skills, when you say facilitate the mobility of friendly forces, it kind of just sounds like you're looping up the big old slippery fist of the infantry. Now that's probably the best breakdown of what a combat engineer does that I can give you. Now let's get into how they do it. Combat engineers always have and always will elect to use brute force every fucking time. And what I mean by that is regardless of what the situation may be, engineers will always incorporate C4. Even if they're just trimming fucking trees. And that's not even the scary part. The scary part is how fucking nonchalant these guys are about handling high explosives. They will literally juggle bricks of C4, and when you go to say, maybe we should be fucking doing that with the explosives, they go, don't worry about it. They take shock and ignition to go off. We'll be fine. They're the only people I've ever been around that talk about getting blown up like it's a minor inconvenience. These guys have the same fucking battle plan, regardless of